What's up guys, Deagle here from ProNDC. Welcome to another ESO build video. So this is not a full or complete build. This is kind of a follow-up video where I will show you an alternative with more damage when it comes to gear. So if you want a full build video with more detailed explanation, go to the video description, or at the end of the video there will be a link to the full build where I will explain everything, CP and skills and stuff. This video is more just about gear alternatives, and it's kind of a meta setup because I'm using a Lich, as you can see, from my restoration stuff. But a lot of people, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will not be happy with the other build. The other build is more like for a solo play, open world, because it gives you a lot of survivability and a lot of stamina resource management. If you're running in a group, you will not need that. You might want some more damage, and this is a setup that gives you a ton of damage. It's not the spinners and Lich meta, but I switched out one set and I wanted to go with another monster set, to be honest, to have even more damage. And yeah, I will show you my stats before I get into gear sets. So currently I'm running 6 pieces of light armor. I wasn't lucky. I'm farming all the time to get the Inferno Staff and Sharpened of one of my sets, but I still don't get it. You cannot buy it, unfortunately, so you have to farm one of these sets. And yeah, so I'm wearing 6 pieces of light armor because I'm using drop sets like Lich, and the other one I will get to that later. And I have one monster set on my head. It's heavy. If I had the staff, I'd be wearing 5 light, 1 medium, 1 heavy to push my max stats a bit further. So I'm at 38.5k max magic, about 21k or 20.7k max health in PvP, 14.1k max stamina, and 1.7k Magicka recovery. Spell damage unbuffed 2.1k with 35% spell critical rating, and I have 1.5k crit resistance. So yes, I will tell you again, in the other build video I also told that your shields do not last very long, and if you play small scale PvP, you fight against a more like decently sized group or bigger group, you will get a ton of damage. So having a bit of crit resistance is beneficial for a sorcerer, so I prefer Impen over Divines. And I am a vampire, so I get 10% more magic and stamina recovery, and I'm using the Atronach Stone. So I really like to have like a basic Magicka recovery of at least 1.7k. I think that helps a lot. So I'm still going with the Atronach Stone, even though I'm using the Lich set. Like before, when I was back then in the days when I was using a Lich, I chose another Stone like the Shadow, or even the Serpent for more stamina recovery to manage my stamina. But still, if you use purple buff wood like I am, as you can see here, and use tripods, you should be fine when it comes to stamina management. So those are my stats. 64 points into Magicka, and I will get to gear first, and then I will show you my buff set. So like regular buff set with 1 potion and power surge, look like this. 1.9k Magicka recovery, 2.5k spell damage. So the spell damage is not that much lower compared to the other setup. I do have slightly more Magicka, so a bit more shields, or a bit bigger shields. And I will show you my gear now. So currently I'm running, as you can see, Burning Spell Weave. So I have 5 pieces of Burning Spell Weave on the body, in my shoulders, my waist, my hands, my legs, and my feet. And actually I'd be running this setup. So waist, hands, legs, and feet. Small pieces in Impan, big pieces in Infuse, as you can see. I would take off the shoulders and use a Burning Spell Weave Inferno Staff. Unfortunately, I do not have one, and you need an Inferno Staff because your light attacks also proc the set bonus. So, Burning Spell Weave. A lot of people think it's only useful in PvE, and I also thought about using a Clever Alchemist. But Clever Alchemist gives you 2 times max health And the set bonus of Clever Alchemist, I'm not sure if I do have... I'm not sure. Do I have one piece of the Clever Alchemist here? Yeah, I do have. So the set bonus only lasts for 15 seconds when you drink a potion. And then you have a 30-second cooldown. So Burning Spell Weave gives you not just more Magicka, you get Magicka instead of 2 times health. You get spell crit and spell damage. And the 5 piece is you get 600 spell damage for 8 seconds with a 20% chance when you deal damage with a flame ability. And also, not just flame abilities count, but even your light attacks count. So you get it for 8 seconds and the cooldown is 12 seconds as soon as the set bonus procs. So you have, after the 8 seconds, you have 4 more seconds of cooldown where you have your regular 2.5k spell damage when you're buffed. And then again, you can get some extra spell damage, 600 in total, which is pretty nice. So with all the buffs active from just this setup, you can get to 3.755k spell damage. With continuous attack, you can get more than 4k spell damage, which is pretty nice. So as I said, I actually use an Burning Spell Weave Inferno Staff Sharpen on the front bar. It has to be sharpened. Sharpened is just too good to not use it in PvP. I know it's useless against shields, of course, but still, when the shields drop, it's about 10% or just a little bit more than 10% extra damage you do just by having sharpened, depending on the resistances of your opponent. So like the actual meta setup is wearing Lich with 5-piece spinners, but against like sorcerers or any opponent with damage shields, the spell penetration will not, you won't benefit from it. So I thought like I should like push my spell damage more, and then I will do more damage against damage shields. So especially against other sorcerers, this setup is pretty strong. So I'm using a non-set staff, Inferno Staff on my front bar. It's sharpened. It has the weapon damage enchant on it as well. And then I'm also running a Lich. So I have the Lich, the charged Dilar staff on my back bar. So every time I go to my back bar when I'm below 33% Magicka, my Magicka recovery gets boosted by 1008 for 20 seconds. This can occur every minute, which is pretty nice for sustain. So I get recovery, Magicka, and recovery. And when I'm on my back bar, it will activate the 5-piece bonus. And you only need it on your back bar. You will switch to your back bar a lot of times to buff yourself, to shield yourself, to apply the curse. So it's totally fine that way. And I'm using an infused robe of the Lich for more max Magicka. And I use 3 pieces of Lich jewelry. You can get these in the Crypt of Hearts 1 and 2. Purple jewelry at the last boss. So complete it on veteran to get it in purple, and you will get it at the last boss with a bit of luck. So I'm also using an Irlamber's hat. I thought about using a heavy Magnus hat, but the thing is, when I switch to the back bar, I only have the Magnus hat. Like Irlamber's, the 1-piece set bonus is the same as the Magnus set bonus, so I get max Magicka. But if I have a Magnus hat with the Magnus Inferno Staff, I only have the max Magicka set bonus on the front bar. So when I switch to my back bar, I lose max Magicka. So I chose to run Irlamber's, just a 1-piece bonus, and it's more beneficial that way because your shield size only scales off your max Magicka. So Harness Magicka and Healing Ward are bigger. And as you can see, my max magic is the same on both bars. So, do not have to use Irlamber's. You can also go with the Infernal Guardian. I do not have it here. You could also switch it out with Molokana hat if you have one. I currently do not have one and have it here. Or like any other set piece or like, monster set you want to use to push any stat like Narayaneth or Valkynscoria for more health, or maybe even like Stormfist for more stamina recovery. It's totally up to you what what you want to use here, as I'm only using one piece. If I had at least an Inferno Staff of the Maelstrom Inferno Staff and Sharpened, I'd use that one. I'd be giving up the weapon damage glyph, of course, but still I could use a poison there, and I have more than 89 more spell damage. So of course it's not a Inferno Staff right now, but my stats look like this. And fully buffed, or normally buffed, is like this, 2.7k, which is nice. But unfortunately I only have a precise Inferno Staff, so I'm using the Magnus Inferno Staff. It's better, and you have a better proc chance, or you can have a better uptime on the Burning Spell Wave. So what I want to do now is show you what my stats look like when I'm fully buffed. So I buff myself, I'm charging up a heavy attack. Okay, it procced 3.755k with the spell damage enchant, and 3.3k with only Burning Spell Wave active. So the damage you put out is pretty damn high. As you can see, 3.3k with Burning Spell Wave active, 2.5 without Burning Spell Wave. So 3.75k spell damage is pretty high, as you can see. As I said, with continuous attack you get even more spell damage. And the monsters that I'd actually be wearing, I do not have one piece of it here right now, is Slimecraw. Slimecraw gives you health recovery with the 1-piece bonus, and the 2-piece bonus is the bonus that's kind of interesting, because I am a vampire. I do not benefit from health recovery, but the 2-piece bonus, you get 8% more damage all the time. It's like you have combat prayer active the whole fight. 8% more raw damage is pretty damn amazing. So just think of it like 3.75k spell damage, and on top you deal 8% more extra damage just by using Slimecraw as a monster set. That's the setup that I actually wanted to run. So a Burning Spell Wave Inferno Staff and Slimecraw on the head. And even without Slimecraw you deal a ton of damage already, so it's pretty strong. And yeah, that's the gear I'm currently running. The skill setup I will show just quickly for you. So I have Crystal Fragments on the front bar. I have Endless Fury as an execute. It's just too good to not use it on PvP. I have my Hardened Ward on my front bar, Crushing Shock to interrupt opponents. Then I have Streak to be a bit more mobile on my front bar, and then Eye of the Flame, the Destro ult that will get nerfed by 10% next patch. Then I have my Overload bar, so I have access to some extra skills, for example Dark Deal, Mines, and I have my Power Surge to buff myself. Also when I crit, I heal myself for a bit, which is pretty nice. I have my Healing Board. I only use it when I drop low on health, because the shield gets bigger. Then I have my Velocious Curse. I think it will be renamed to the Echoing Curse, something like that. It will blow up after 3.5 and 8.5 seconds next patch, so it will get buffed a bit for PvP, for Sorcerer, which is pretty nice, and also for PvE. Actually, you just have to switch up the rotation a bit. And then I have my Boundless Storm to buff my resistances and also get a bit more movement speed, and then my Harness Magicka to absorb any damage, but it will give me back Magicka up to 3 times, which is also pretty nice. So what you want to do is like use a curse and then try to like a weapon swap and try to like time it so they blow up at the same time. That's basically what you want to do. And also, if you use Endless Fury, you have 4 seconds to drop your opponent below 20% health, and then you will get the extra shock damage from an explosion. So if you can time these 3 skills, you will have a lot of burst damage, especially with this setup. As I told in the other setup and the other build video, Like even with just 2.7k spell damage, it's more than enough for a sorcerer. I know people are relatively tanky, but I was able to kill tanky opponents using heavy armor, black growth, meta setups, and I was able to still kill them and do enough damage. So you just need to line up your combo, line up the burst, and time it everything perfectly. It just needs a bit of practice, but as I said, with this setup, you will have a bit more damage than with the other setup, a bit less survivability. So Lich will give you your resource management, at least for your Magicka. And yeah, that's just about. Oh wait, I want to show you my stats when I'm using Lich. So I need to. No, I'm gonna use Streak. It's a bit easier to drop. So I activated Lich. So my stats look like this. 3.4k, and now when I use a potion, I'm at 3.8k Magicka recovery. So your Magicka recovery is so high, you shouldn't have any problems sustaining your Magicka when you use Lich. If you do, you're doing something wrong. So Lich is a bit overkill, a little bit overrated to be honest, and of course you can farm a different staff, like a staff of the Lich should also drop in defending. This is like the original staff. The only trait it dropped in like a couple months ago before Tamriel. But yeah guys, that's about it. I hope I was able to explain everything about the gear and how the setup works. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. If you want a full build video, like I said, go to the video description or wait for the end of the video. I will link the build video there as well, and you will have a more detailed explanation of like the basics of the build, why I have my skills there and all that stuff, and the CP allocation. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Leave a like and of course a sub if you liked what you saw, and if you do not want to miss any more ESO content on my channel. And that's it for today guys, so see you next time. Until then, bye bye.